Well, hello there, as Obi-Wan says. The Giant Rat here. Welcome to another episode of I don't even know what to call this anymore. The twice weekly vlog, I guess, is what I would maybe call it. Today I'm going to talk about gear. It's something I've been thinking about talking about for a while. And a lot of people do it, a lot of people don't. But I wanted to start out talking about what I originally vlogged with. Originally, I had a gimbal. And I actually have a gimbal still for my phone, the same gimbal that I started off with. I don't have it here for this conversation because if I'm being honest, I use it so seldom. I probably haven't used it since August of last year, and I probably don't plan on using it anytime soon. It's kind of like weird using it with my phone, but my first camera that I used that I vlogged with was something like this. Not quite this advanced, but it was a Samsung Galaxy Note. This is a Samsung Galaxy, I don't know, S24, whatever the one from, say, a year and a half, 2 years was. But I used something like that for a while, and I used this occasionally for on-the-spot stuff. It's definitely not my main piece of camera equipment, and I'm not even sure what that is now at this point. But anyways, I then bought a camera G7X Mark II, which very common vlogging camera. You see all the big vloggers. Adam the Woo used one for a while, for a long time actually. Carpetbagger for a long time. Anyone in that Adam the Woo orbit, they were using that kind of camera. Some of them not all the time, like I think Tim Tracker used a Sony and some other stuff, but he did have a camera G7X Mark II, and a lot of other people used it as well. So that was my main camera for vlogging for a long time. I don't think there's any footage on this channel using that camera, maybe some flashback stuff. I used it on some of my other channels, so most of you probably aren't too familiar with those channels, but I sold that camera and bought two cameras and gear for those cameras. The main one is this. This is the DJI Action 5 Pro, and it's actually in a Action case right now, but it's not actually. This is what it looks like out of the box, and this is basically a GoPro-ish type action camera. They call them action cameras now. You generically used to call them GoPros. GoPros are probably going to GoPro away because they haven't kept up with the tech, and they've just tried to stick with what they do and know, and everyone else caught up with them. These Chinese companies are making way better cameras, way better tech, and they're doing it cheaper, and they're upgrading quicker. So I don't see the GoPro being around much longer. These cameras are just better. With that camera, I got this DJI Action stick or selfie stick, and I was mounting that I was using this to mount it. It's basically a magnet underneath, similar to what GoPros do, and you can just click that in and then screw it into the selfie stick. And I have extra batteries that I have with it and all the accessories. Use it with different selfie sticks. I actually do not like this stick. It is flimsy. If you take it to a theme park or an amusement park, they think you can use it. It looks sort of like a weapon. I don't typically use my Action 5 Pro with the DJI. The DJI camera, I don't typically use that with that selfie stick. Instead, I use the competitor, Insta360. Here's why. Same thing, you know, it connects same way. Magnet clicks in. It's a bigger selfie stick. It's beefier, so it's easier to hold. It just feels better. You can see here. This, even though it has a hand grip, it just doesn't fit quite as well in your hand. And when it scopes out, this is beefier, sturdier. Doesn't really look as much like a weapon, but the most important thing is when you take this to a theme park or an amusement park, you can take it like this so that people understand it's a tripod. They'll typically let you in with this. They won't let you in with this. It's not a tripod. Tell them this is a tripod. Most of the time they won't give you any trouble. They'll let you in with it. But if they do give you trouble, like Disneyland, if you're going to Disneyland, you're going to need this. Yes, this is a GoPro flotation handle, a stabilizer, if you will. And this handle, you need a piece to go on the end here. It's actually this piece right here that will clip into the end of this. These things actually come with that piece. It's just standard. It's similar to the GoPro stuff. But when you do that, it doesn't, come out. It doesn't. You can't pull it out like a selfie stick. You can't do this. You can't telescope it. And they'll usually let you into the park with this. And that's what I was using at Disneyland for all of my footage out there when I was out there. They would let me into the park with this. In fact, one of the security guys was like, yeah, I have that at home. I know exactly what it is. You're good to go. Now, for the POV stuff, like on a horseback or something like that, or if you're going to Knoebels will only let you use a camera on their coasters and some of their rides, some of their thrill rides, if you check in with customer service at the front of the park when you come in and you have one of these. This is a chest harness. It will fit over your head and strap in basically like this actually, and then your camera will mount right here, and as long as you have it secured, they'll let you in. They'll give you a camera card and you show it to the ride operators so that they understand you've been cleared, and you can do, you can use this camera mounted on here in the parks. Now, the second camera that I bought after I sold my Canon, with the Action 5 Pro, I used the DJI Mic Mini, I think it's 2, on it, and I use it with this magnet that I wear under the shirt. It attaches like that right over my shirt, and that's what I do with that. I also use that same setup with the third camera down the line. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. The second camera I bought after I sold my Canon, which I got a lot of money for that Canon. I bought 2 cameras with it. Is the Insta360 Go 3S. A great camera. Great little action camera. This thing actually separates out into this mini camera with a magnet. And you can put it on anywhere, do all kinds of stuff with the magnet. You saw some of my talks from the car videos that I've done in the past. A lot of times I've used this with a attachment that I have that goes onto the sun visor or other places, actually, other than the sun visor on the dash. I actually can't find that lately. I don't know what happened to that thing, but it's in my car somewhere. It's in vernacular somewhere. But in any case, this thing, you know, will come back in here and just become a regular action camera with this Action. I can't talk tonight. This Action pod. Now, this thing attaches to this by screwing this off of here and putting the proper one, this one, on instead, and it attaches like this, also with magnets and these clips on the side. I don't use it very often like that. Occasionally this thing gets spot duty. I've had to send this Action pod back and get a warranty repair, which they just replaced the whole thing recently. So I use it even less now since I got this, which is the DJI Pocket 3. And this is the additional, like, you can buy this handle. Different brands make a handle like this for it. This is the actual charging extra battery, if you will, handle, but also it gives you a little more length on this. You know, this is the Pocket 3. It's a small camera and a gimbal in one. Works really well. I also attach the same way I described the Mic Mini and have it for this as well. This thing, it's like I said, it's on a gimbal. Works really well. I try and save this from use when I can. I use the Action 5 Pro when I can because it's more rugged. This is very delicate. That's why I keep it in this case. I'm terrified, as expensive as this was, of the day when I have to get it fixed, repaired, whatever, and not have it to use because it's such a good camera. I like using this camera in the theme parks, but for some theme parks, the Action 5 Pro is just fine. It's great footage. It's the difference between digital balancing, which you get with the Action 5 Pro, and the Insta360 Go 3S, where the software itself within the camera will do your balancing. You won't have to use a gimbal. It's a digital gimbal, I guess, if you will, as opposed to the actual real gimbal, which, you know, has more natural look, more natural feel. Every once in a while on these other cameras, you'll see a compensation, and as you're watching the video, the camera will go, the software will make it focus weird and, you know, move around. So that's those cameras. I actually prefer using this Insta360 tripod / stick. And sometimes when I'm in the car, I'll also use this suction cup deal. It doesn't work very well. I'll screw the cameras and their mounts down onto this and just put it on the dash. Like I said, it doesn't always work very well. I don't like using it. I like using my other, it's like a cradle. And I don't know where that's at right now. All right, so that's that stuff. I always try and be prepared. With the Insta360, I have this, which then I can put the whole thing in here. I used this chest harness for that, for the Insta360 Go 3S, and the other one I showed you with the Action 5 Pro in the recent video where my girls were on horseback. They were wearing these chest harnesses. I will be wearing the Action 5 Pro chest harness sometime this year, I believe, at Knoebels. And like I said, you're allowed to do it if you have that chest harness and you get checked out. And this, of course, battery charger, I try and be as prepared as I possibly can, because when I had my Canon, there were instances where I would run out of battery or any number of other scenarios, and that wasn't good. I do, as I said previously, this is another camera that I use every once in a while. I still use it occasionally. You've seen a few videos or parts of videos with me using it lately. They typically have my face a little closer up. Maybe it sounds a little weird. It looks a little different. I try not to use that because I don't like the video that it puts out compared to these cameras. That's why I bought them. But my last camera is this. And you might have seen it on social media over the last year and a half or so, is the Camp Snap 8. It is basically a fake Super 8 camera, old world look with digital technology packed inside. It's a digital camera. But it films, it acts like, it records like a Super 8, an old Super 8 camera, which I'm old enough to remember that. And I really like this camera for, like if you're doing just home movies and stuff and not really a lot of social media, it's a great camera. It really is awesome. But even for social media, for like stylized stuff, I used it on some vlogs for the Hershey Dark Nights event. I went through houses with this, and people kind of dug it. I think they dug watching me walk through with it. I was holding it, like this, up to the eye, looking through it a little bit, and occasionally I just put it down and, shoot and get wherever it shot. That's what you got. So I use it. I don't use it very often. I've only done a couple videos, maybe 2 videos using this camera. I will use it in the future for who knows what, but I'll come up with something and maybe even just put footage from it in videos here and there. But it's a neat camera. It was very economical. Didn't cost a lot. And I would highly recommend it for people if you just want to do that really cool kind of point and click video, old school. All right, that's what I got. That's the gear, the cameras that I use, that you see me shoot with. I don't expect everyone's going to be all that interested in that. Some people will. People are often curious about that stuff. And so that's what I got. That will do it for the gear discussion. On Saturday, I will have a POV from a Walt Disney World ride. On Sunday, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of up in the air what I'm going to put out on Sunday. It may be from a location that I'm going to this weekend. I am flying somewhere this weekend. And that where I fly to, I don't really want to edit a video and post it, but I have the ability to do that. So I may do it. I don't know. We'll see. I prefer not to, so I'm going to try and edit before I leave on Friday. I'm going to try and edit and schedule a release of a video for Sunday, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I get a chance to. Run out of time. All right, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're going to have an even better holiday weekend. Enjoy those cookouts if you're in America. It is the Memorial Day weekend here. If you're not, if you're from elsewhere, I just hope you have a great weekend, and I hope your week was even better. And so enjoy your time with your family, your people, or yourself, your pets. I just hope that you have a great weekend. And we'll see you on Saturday and on Sunday. And then we'll talk about the trip I took on Tuesday of next week. All right, we'll see ya. Dreams, grass, and churros. Goodbye.